Hello, and welcome back to day 3 of our Morning Manna time. This week, we are looking at the theme of the Advent season, and the theme for today is peace.
So I want to direct our attention really quickly to some powerful prophetic words that are found in the book of Isaiah. In Isaiah chapter 9, he describes the coming of Jesus, and that Jesus is to be called the Prince of Peace, because that's exactly what he is. When Jesus came as a baby boy, he was our deliverer of peace.
I'm reminded of the story in Matthew chapter 14 when Jesus walked on water. Jesus had gone up to the hill to pray, and the disciples were in the boat far from land. Soon the disciples found themselves in trouble when a strong wind came against them, and their boat was being battered by waves. Let's pick up the description in verses 25 through 33. During the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I, do not be afraid." "Lord, if it is you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was terrified, and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "Oh, you of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God."
The thing that stands out the most to me in this story is that Peter took his attention off Jesus. And when his focus shifted to all the frightening elements of the storm that was all around him, that's when he began to doubt. Then he cries out to Jesus, and Jesus was right there, immediately grabbed hold of him. Right now, many of us are in need of the Father's peace one way or another. It may be something larger that you're dealing with. Maybe in a relationship with a loved one. Maybe you got a diagnosis from a doctor that's causing you anxiety or stress. Maybe it's your job. Or maybe it's one of the smaller day-to-day things where you're just having trouble accessing his peace. Just like Peter, when we take our eyes off Jesus, quickly the storms around us, big or little, start to look impossible. But then when we take hold of his hand and keep him at the center of our focus, all of a sudden, his peace begins to overflow.
And finally, this is a little more lighthearted, but one of my family's favorite Christmas movies of all time is White Christmas. There is a song in it called "Count Your Blessings Instead of Sheep," written by Irving Berlin. Apparently, the song was birthed out of Berlin's insomnia troubles. He penned a letter once about why he chose to write these specific lyrics, and it reads, "As I say in the lyrics some time ago, after the worst kind of sleepless night, my doctor came to see me. And after a lot of self-pity, belly aching, and complaining about my insomnia, he looked at me and said, 'Speaking of doing something about your insomnia, did you ever try counting your blessings?'" I'd like to challenge you today to count your blessings, shift your mind solely on Jesus, and find rest and peace in him. Be intentional about it. I hope I'll see you back here tomorrow.